What's up guys, it's your girl Nisha. Today I am back with another video. So as you guys can see by the title, today I will be telling you guys a story time. Before I get to the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Always comment down below video suggestions down below in the comment section. And make sure you follow me on Instagram. It will be linked down below in the description box. Without further ado, let's just get into the story. So before I get into the video, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of like background on how I met this person. We're gonna call this person C. We're gonna call him C. So C and I met at my job. I used to work at a shoe store and we met at my job. So C came in one day, and when he came in, he was looking around at the shoes. You know, I greeted him, made sure he was good. Then he was looking around. And then after he was looking around for a bit, he went to the register and he started talking to my manager. And they were talking for maybe like a good like 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm like, oh, okay, like clearly he knows him, and like, you know, they're having a conversation. Maybe that's what he originally came in here for. So, but he was just looking around first or whatever. So they're having a conversation. And then after him and my manager stopped talking, C walked over to the shoe wall and he was like looking at the shoes again. And then he kept glancing back at me. Mind you, I'm on the other side of the store folding shirts. So I was about to say folding tables, but folding shirts. Originally, when he glanced at me, I'm like, okay, well, he probably found a shoe and he's waiting for me to go over there and like, you know, ask him if he needs help or get his size or whatever. So I went over there and I was like, you know, like, do you need help? Like, you need me to get a size for you? And he's like, no. So I'm like, okay. And then maybe like a few minutes after I went over there and talked to C, the manager called me over and he started talking to me and he was telling me a little bit about C. Like, you know, they used to go to the same church. C's like a really nice guy and yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, you know, like this is good to know. And then my manager was like, oh yeah, like C also said like he thinks you're cute or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. C just wasn't my type. Like, he just, I don't know, like, you know, everyone has like a physical appearance type, and he wasn't my physical appearance type. But I didn't know him personally to be like, you know, like, he's just not my type altogether. But my manager's like, you know, give it a shot, like, you know, because my manager knew he wasn't my type. Everyone who knows me or gets to know me knows that I have a type. My manager knew he wasn't my type. So my manager was like, give it a shot, you know, just give it a try. Like, he's a really nice guy, like, you won't regret it. So I'm like, okay, whatever, you know, I'll put aside the fact that he's not my type, and I'll just trust my manager's judgment. So he called C over, and C was just standing there. So I was just kind of confused because I was like, my manager's telling me like, you know, he thinks that I'm cute, but when he called him over, he was just standing there. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's kind of weird and bizarre, but okay. My bad, y'all. I had to fix the way I was sitting. But anyways, like I was saying, so he called C over, and C was just like standing there at first. So I was kind of confused because I'm like, didn't my manager just say like he thought I was cute? Like, why is he not saying anything? But my manager introduced us, and he introduced us, you know, like we told each other our names, like told each other a little bit about ourselves. And then a customer had walked in the store. So my manager was like, you know, I'll leave you guys alone. Like, I'll handle the customer, give you guys some time to talk. So we're talking and stuff, you know, the basics, like what do you like to do in your like free time? Like, you know, just the basic, you know, introductory stuff. So fast forward, I end up giving C my number, and we end up going out, clearly. So I want to say all of this happened on a Wednesday, because I do remember we were texting for like a full day before we went on a date. So after that, fast forward, we're like texting. When someone texts back quickly, to me that means like they're showing interest, or, you know, you guys are having a good conversation. So through texting, we had a good conversation. We were like still getting to know each other. Like, we just had a good conversation through text or whatever. So that same day, he ended up like asking me what I was doing tomorrow, which would be Friday. And I was just like, not much, you know, like after I get off of work, I'm probably just, you know, go home and just like chill, you know, like I don't have any plans or whatever. And then he was like asking me like, do you mind if I take you out? And I was like, no, not at all. Like, through text, even though he wasn't my type originally. And he seemed like a nice guy through text too. So I'm like, cool, why not? So fast forward to Friday night. Friday night, I was at my sister's house. So he came to my sister's house, and he stayed in the car, and he texted me when he was outside. Mind you, we had planned, we're like, okay, we're gonna go skating and then just like go get something to eat. And I'm like, okay, cool. So he came to my sister's house and he texted me when he was outside, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I told my sister I'm about to leave, did the whole thing, went outside. Boom. I got there, he got out, you know, he opened the door for me, you know, let me in the car, you know, all gentleman like. So I'm like, ooh, okay, gentleman. So I was feeling that, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, that's so cute. So he had opened the door for me, and then he got back in on his side, and we had pulled off. And I kid y'all not, for the first maybe like 5 minutes while we were sitting in the car, he didn't say anything to me, y'all. Like, it was so awkward. And I'm just like, why is he being awkward? Like, we haven't like been texting like for a day. Like you know, he was being really, really awkward. So for me, I'm not really I may be the shy type, but I'm not really like an awkward type of person. So I'm just gonna start making conversation. So I start making conversation like, oh, like, you know, how was your day? Like, you know, like basic little, just making conversation. We're talking, boom, we go to the gas station. Because he had to get some gas. He goes and he gets the gas. And then I don't know what he did while he was like at the gas station, but when he came back out and got in the car, he was like so energetic. Like, I don't know if it came from me starting a conversation like on the way to the gas station, but once he left the gas station, he had so much energy and we were just having great conversation. And I'm just like, oh, okay, like, I don't know what you did, but okay, quick little turnaround. So great. So boom, we leave in the gas station. The entire time from the gas station to the skating ring, we were having conversation. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's good. So we get to the skating ring, we're about to pay. He had his own skates because I guess like sometimes in his free time, he likes to skate. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he had his own skates and I had to get skates, and we had to pay to get into the skating ring. And I had rent from my wallet because I was just like, okay, like, I mean, I guess I'll pay for myself or whatever. Even though if somebody else initiates a date, I feel like it's just like an unspoken rule that they should pay for it. Like, this was your idea, you should pay for it. So I was like about to pay for myself, and then he stopped me. He was like, no, like, I got you. And I was like, oh, okay. I was kind of waiting on it, but I wasn't going to say anything. But anyways, he paid for me or whatever, and then he was like complaining about the price a little bit, and I was just like, okay, this was your idea to come here, so like, why complain about the price? But I just brushed it off my shoulder. I'm like, okay, cool. We go in, we put our skates on, we start skating. Now this is where it gets like a little interesting. Usually when people skate, they pick up both of their feet when they're skating. When I skate, I pick up both of my feet, but there's one foot, like most of the time, that will like, I don't pick up. Like, it stays on the skating ring as the other one. Like, it's really hard to explain, but long story short, I skate differently from the average person. So we're skating, you know, we're vibing and stuff. We're not really talking much, we're just like skating and vibing, the music's playing and stuff. Maybe like the third time after we were like skating together, he was like, you know, like, if you don't mind or whatever, like, I want to like go around like really quickly and like skate around real quick. And I was like, of course I don't mind, like, go ahead, you know, do your thing. So he's skating around or whatever, I'm still skating, but at this point I'm skating with myself, and he went around once by himself. But that once by himself turned into like 4 or 5 times. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, this, we're supposed to be like, you know, here together. But I mean, if you want to skate by yourself, that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm not gonna say anything, like, I don't care. So he's skating by himself, y'all. I think like after the third round, I want to say like the third round of him skating by himself, he went to his book bag, because he had his skates in his book bag when we had originally came in, so he had a book bag with him. So he went to his book bag and he got out his beats.
No.
Y'all, he got out his headphones. So I'm like, okay. So now in my head, I'm like, is he about to listen to music and like skate? Like, am I not here? Am I non-existent? Like, question mark? On his beats, and he's like skating around, just like vibing all by himself. I'm like, did he forget that I'm here? But I didn't say anything. I still didn't say anything. So I skate around like 3 more times. At this point, I'm like, okay, it's like, this is dead. Like, anything after this is dead. And I'm no longer like enjoying myself. Like, we're not vibing anymore. Like, it's dead. Like a second date is not an option, it's dead. So from that point, I'm like, all right, bet, like it's dead. I'm just, you know, might as well just enjoy the rest of my night, because anything after this with him, with C, was dead. I was like, okay. I got off the ring and I had sat down. I sat down for maybe like 5 minutes, and then it was this group of people who came in. It was a group of guys. It was like a mixture of a group of guys and girls. And there was this Hispanic guy. He was probably like 5'11". He was 5'11", you know, light skin, like the classic Poppy Chulo type of thing. So I like glanced at him, but he wasn't looking at me. I was looking at his fit though, because he had like all polo on, but it wasn't like polo. It was like polo jacket. He had on like a polo beanie. Like I fucked with his fit. So I was looking at his fit or whatever. So then I got up and I got back on the ring, and after I got on the ring, maybe like 5 minutes later, he came up there. He was skating, and then he had stopped by, and he was like making conversation with me. He asked me like my name. He asked me where I was from, and he was like who you here with? And I was like, huh? And he was like, who you here with? Like, you here by yourself? Da da da. And I was like, no, like I'm here with my friend. Because first I was about to say like I'm there by myself, but logically I was like, that'd be kind of messed up to say like I'm here by myself and like I'm with him. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna eventually see me with him. Like we're either gonna leave together or we're gonna sit down and eat or whatever. So I'm like, nah, I'm like here with the friend. And then he was like, what friend? And then I pointed him out, and he was just like, oh. And then he, like the way he said, oh, I was like, yeah, like that's my friend or whatever. He was like, oh. And then he just started skating away or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that was weird. Even though in all actuality, I really should have just been like, I'm here by myself, because I really was there by myself. Like he was really skating with his headphones on, not paying me not one attention in the world. For that interaction, next time he skated around, he had stopped me again, and he was like, so is that your friend or is that your boyfriend? Boyfriend? What are you talking about? So I was like, that's my friend. And he was like, you sure? He was like, don't lie to me. He said, it's no need to lie. I'm like, sir, I just met you. Why would I be lying to you, really? Like, that's my friend. We may be on a date, but he doesn't need to know that. So this is my friend. That's my friend. That's my friend. He was like, oh, word? That's your friend? He was like, come on, skate with me. And then I started laughing, and I just looked away. Like, I cannot skate with you while I'm on a date with somebody else. Like, I mean, he didn't know that, but I couldn't do that. Like, I knew that, so I couldn't just skate with him. Like, even though I was already skating by myself. Just kidding, but I really was skating by myself, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So I was already skating by myself, so in the back of my head, I'm like, I mean, I could skate with him, but like, I'm a nice person and I have morals. So like, how you gonna skate with somebody else on a date with somebody else? Like, that's mad crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Like, nah, I can't do that. So I ended up telling him like, no, I can't skate with you. And he was just like, why though? He was like, that you just here with your friend, but you can't skate with me. He was like, see, you lied to me. And then he skated away. And I had to skate up to catch up with him, because I did not lie to you. Like, that is my friend. So that's exactly what I did. When he started skating away, I started skating away with him. And I was like, no, like, I didn't lie to you. Like, that's really my friend. So he was like, all right, bet, skate with me. So I'm like, at this point, we're not holding hands or nothing like that, but we're like skating with each other next to each other. So like, he's skating and I'm skating like that. Conversation as we're skating technically together, but we're not like holding hands. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? We're skating like that. So we're skating together, and long story short, he ended up asking me for my number. And C was still, you know, skating with his beats, but he had looked over there a few times once he noticed that me and old dude were skating together. I had to think, because I'm like, damn, like, I'm in my head like, damn, that's so messed up to like give somebody else your number while you're on a date with somebody else. Like, that is so fucked up. So I'm like, nah, I can't give you my number. And he was like, why? And then he pulled me like, he pulled me a little bit to the wall, and he was like, if that's just your friend and y'all not like together, why you can't give me your number? So at this point, I'm feeling real stuck, because in my head, I'm thinking like this, y'all. Me and C, after this, like, we're not gonna be anything. Like, we're gonna end up being just friends. I knew that for a fact because after he had left and put his headphones on, he was paying me no attention. And I'm like, how you gonna take me on a date and not pay me no attention the entire time? So I'm like, we're gonna end up being just friends. In my head, I'm kind of like, should I see where it could go with Papi Chulo or what? So I'm like, give me your notes. I was like, give me your notes, because I felt like if C was to skate by and like he saw me with like old boy's phone and I was on his notes, maybe like he'd see, like, think different kind of. I don't really know what I was thinking back then. So I end up like typing like half my number in his phone, and let me tell y'all why it was half and not the whole number. So I typed half my number in his phone because C skated around and saw me with old boy and he stopped. The first time he had stopped and actually paid me some attention since we'd been there, other than when we first got there, he stopped by and he like stopped and like he was like introducing himself to old boy. So he introduced himself and I'm like, yeah, like this is my friend C or whatever. And they like talking or whatever and they're making general conversation, da. I skated away. Mind you, I did not put my whole number in his phone. I only put half of it in my phone, in his phone. So at this point, old boy is like doing his own thing, because now me and C are skating together. We're not holding hands. We're just, you know, doing the same thing me and old boy were just doing a few minutes ago, skating together. So we're skating together and he was like, you know, I know what he was doing, right? And I was like, no, like, what do you mean you know what he was doing? What are you talking about? He was like, I know what he was doing. He was like, he was trying to get your number. I was like, oh, like, I was like, oh, playing dumb. Like, I did not know what old boy was trying to do. I knew the whole time, but I didn't know what to say. Like, it would have been mad awkward if I was like, yeah, he was trying to get my number. So me and C had that mini conversation. He was like, come on, let's sit down. So we got out the ring. We went to sit down. We're having conversation. And then he just brought it up. He was like, do you find him attractive? And it was out of nowhere. Like, I think we were talking about like our future careers or something. And he was like, do you find him attractive? I was like, who? And then he was like, oh boy, or whatever. And I was like, I was about to actually answer it, but I was like, what? I'm like, I was like, I'm here with you. Like, why would I be here with you and like find somebody else attractive? Like, that's mad weird. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Are you insecure? I don't like that. That right there kind of threw me for a loop, because it's like, if I'm here on a date with you, why are you concerned about like somebody else? Like, me personally, I'm not an insecure female in any aspect. So I wouldn't be able to date somebody who's insecure. And the fact that you felt the need to ask me if I found him attractive, I don't know. For me, that just said a lot and it turned me off or whatever. And mind you, I already had decided in my head that me and C were just gonna be friends. So I didn't really care that much, but it was just like, it was just weird that he asked me that. So he had got up, and when he got up, I'm thinking we're gonna get up and go skate together. So I got up with him and he was like, no, could you just like sit here? Excuse me?
Child. Anyway, so
what do you mean, can I just sit here? Like, what are you talking about? So he got up and yeah, he was like, yeah, like, can you just sit here? And I was like, why? And I said just like that because I was confused. Like, we came to the skating rink to skate and like vibe, get to know each other, but you want me to sit down while you skate? What sense does that make? Sit here while I skate so old boy doesn't try to talk to you. Like, what? So, what? Okay. So after he had told me that, I was just like, yeah, like, this definitely isn't going anywhere. Like, you want me to stay seated while you skate so somebody else doesn't try and talk to me? I was like, yeah, no, like, that's just a turn off. But because I didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable or whatever the case may have been, I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I like sat there, but the whole time I'm sitting here thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, bro, you want me to sit here? You want me to sit here so somebody else don't try and talk to me while you skate by yourself? Like, in what world is something like that okay on a date? But I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm sitting there or whatever. Let me tell you about old boy. Old boy did not give not one care in the world. He came right over there when I was sitting down by myself, and he started talking to me. He's making conversation, and he had brought up that I didn't finish putting my number in his phone. So he slid his phone on a table, and as I was putting in the rest of my number, I felt so bad. So I was just like, I had to delete the whole thing, and I was like, no, like I can't give you a number. He was like, that's your boyfriend? And I was like, no, but like we're here on a date. I ended up telling him we were on a date just because I kind of felt bad. I was like, we're on a date. And then he was like, oh really? So how's that going for you? And he started laughing because like clearly you can tell like I'm sitting down and he's skating, like clearly I'm not having a good time. So I end up telling him, I was just like, I'm not really enjoying myself, like it's not gonna go anywhere anyway, so like it is what it is. And he was like, okay, so if you know for a fact it's not gonna go anywhere, then why are you not giving me your number? And in the back of my head I'm like, I don't know, I just feel bad, you know, like he paid for me to be here today, so you don't feel bad. He said, instead of you giving me your number, I'm gonna give you mine. And he pulled out a piece of paper and he gave me his number. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I took the piece of paper. So I took the piece of paper and he was like, come on, like come skate with me. And I'm like, that's wild. I told him like I'm on a date with this man and you gonna say come skate with you. So I told him I can't skate with you, like I just told you I'm on a date with him, whatever. He was like, man, forget about him. So mind you, I like the whole bad boy thing. Like you don't care at all that I'm on a date with somebody else, you're still trying to skate with me. Like I just found that funny or whatever. So I had told him, no, I can't skate with you. And as we're sitting down talking, here comes C. It's like the only time C came around and like wanted to talk to me or wanted to get my attention was when old boy Poppy Chulo came to talk to me. Like any other time except for the first time we had got there, he was not paying me no attention. So it's like in my head I'm like, okay, so now you see that somebody else wants me. It's like now you're trying to talk to me. But y'all, that wasn't even the case. Let me get to the good part. So after that, C had came over and he sat down next to me. He didn't say nothing, y'all. Like I don't know what was his game plan, but he sat down next to me while old boy was still talking to me. And old boy was still talking, like he did not even acknowledge the fact that she just came down and was sitting right next to me. So he's still talking to me, he's still like flirting with me. At this point I'm feeling super awkward. Like I'm feeling hecker awkward, y'all, because it's like, am I supposed to sit here and flirt with this man in front? Like, no. So I'm just like laughing and giggling at whatever homeboy is saying, because I can't really respond because C's sitting right next to me. So I'm not really responding, and then old boy gets up and he starts saying again. C's like, he just can't stay away from you, huh? Now you want to say something? Are you serious? Now you want to say something? When old boy was just sitting right here flirting with me, you didn't say nothing. I mean, y'all hear a pin drop, bro. He didn't say nothing at all. Nothing. So I'm like, oh my God, like, ew. Like, I'm so unattracted to you. Like, you didn't say nothing this whole time he was sitting here. And that's not even it. So that ends up happening. At this point, I'm ready to go. So I end up telling him, like, I didn't tell him I was ready to go. I ended up asking him, like, oh, like, where are we going to eat? Like, are we going to eat here? You want to eat somewhere else? And naming places that was nearby. So I was like, you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings or, like, this Bubba place? And then he was like, oh, like, he heard about Bubba. Their food's good or whatever. So I ended up getting ready to go. Taking my skates off, about to give them back to the people or whatever. And he still had his skates on. And he was like, before we leave, like, there's, like, a skating competition going to happen at the end or whatever. So, I want to skate on the competition. I'm like, okay, cool, you can skate the competition or whatever. That's cool. So I'm sorry, I was playing with my chapstick. So he goes to skate for the skating competition, and as he went to go get on the ring, soon as he left, old boy, the Hispanic, comes back up and he's like, hey, look. He was like, I know you're here on a little date with your little friend or whatever, but like I want you to put your number like in my phone. And then I was like why though? Like, for what? Like, I was like, I already have yours, so why do I need to put yours? He's like, nah, I want yours in my phone. He was like, I don't know if I want yours in my phone. So I just started laughing, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I just can't do that. I'm sorry. So I told him I can't do that, and he's like, so if I skate right now in a competition and I beat him, you still not gonna put your number in my phone? And then he told me, he was like, you don't even like him. He was like, you didn't enjoy yourself anyways today, so like what's the big deal? But he was like, if I skate and I beat him in this little skating ring competition, do you remember my phone? So I'm laughing in the back of my head, I'm just laughing. I'm like, yeah. Back of my head, I'm like, he's just not gonna be him, because I told y'all, C was skating around by himself. He was skating around, enjoying himself, doing little tricks and stuff. So I'm thinking like, there's no way he's gonna beat him. So I'm like, yeah, like sure, whatever. So the competition happens. Y'all, guess who won the competition, bro? Oh boy won the competition. So right after he got off the ring, he came back up to me. He had his phone open to the little phone thing, and he was handing it to me. As he's handing it to me, C comes over. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awkward. Like, this is so awkward. So C sat down. Mind y'all, C did not say nothing. And this is the number one thing that had pissed me off, because it's like, if I go on a date with somebody, that's like me going on a date with somebody, right? I go on a date with you, and while we're on a date, a girl is trying to get with you. I don't care if we're together or not. If a girl's trying to get with you while I'm on a date with you, I'm gonna say something, like anything, like I'm gonna, hey, yeah, I'm his girlfriend. Like, yeah, I'm one of those. So for you not to say anything at all, in the back of my head, I'm like, does he even like me? Like, I'm confused. C sat down at the table that was next to us, and he's taking his skates off. And then he seen me and old boy having a conversation. Literally, like, me and old boy were right here. C was right here taking his skates off. So I got up and he just stood there. Because mind you, we're about to leave. I already have my shoes on and stuff because I already got my skates back. So he stands there, y'all. He just stands there and watches the entire time. He didn't say nothing to old boy. He didn't say nothing to me. He was just completely silent. So in the back of my head, I'm just like, I feel like in the back of his head, he knew that, no, the vibes wasn't hitting for nothing, and he knew that. So maybe that's why he didn't say anything. But after we left, after that happened, we left. And while we were in the car, he was like, right before he pulled off, he was like, he looked at me and he said, is it bad that I didn't say anything? Is it bad that you didn't say anything to somebody who was flirting with somebody that you're interested in front of your face? I'm trying not to make him feel bad, but that's terrible. Even if I was interested in you and the date went perfect, if that last part would have happened where you see him flirting with me right in your face and you don't say nothing at all, I would not have gave you a chance at anything. So I'm like, I mean, no, like, it's okay, like, it's fine, don't worry about it. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he said, oh, okay, and he left it alone for like maybe like 2 seconds. So he said, oh, okay. And then he was like, I would have said something if you were my girlfriend. Point, honestly, I can just not even eat and just go home and order me something to eat, or go out and get something to eat, because I didn't even want to eat with him. Like, y'all, after that had happened, I was so turned off. I had already knew it's not going nowhere from this. Like, you got one time to make a good impression and you failed. Therefore, it's not going anywhere from this. Like, I really am not interested in you. We went to go get something to eat, and I kid y'all not, the entire time we were getting something to eat, he talked about situating it up. He kept saying like he would have said something, and he kept saying he felt bad that he didn't say anything. Like, oh, like it was his mistake. Like, you know, next time that happens, he would definitely say something. Like, he was like, something like that has never happened to me before. And I was just like, I mean, I guess that's understandable, but it don't matter if it's ever happened to me before. If it was the other way around, even if it was right then and there and I wasn't attracted to him, I still would have said something. Like, it's just the principle. So we were eating, he was like, what's wrong? You look uncomfortable. And I was just like, no, you know, like, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about it. Him type of thing, you know, like, I'm gonna trust my manager's judgment, because my manager was a great guy, good person. So I'm like, okay, he has good judgment. Like, just try it out. So I did try it out, and it definitely 110% was not. Comment down below if you're a female and you're watching this. Would that be a turn off for y'all if you were on a date with somebody else and he saw somebody trying to get with you and he didn't say nothing? Would that be a turn off, or y'all just wouldn't care? Like, you would still be interested in him? But shortly, first talking to him, like, let him know, like, no, like, the worst date, honestly, in history, still to this day, I think it's like the worst date that I've ever been on, because it wasn't even a date. Like, he just paid for me to get in. It was a story time of the worst date that I've ever been on. And it sucks to say it, because he was a sweet guy, but he was a sweet guy, but he wasn't for me. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Always comment down below, video suggestions down below in the comment section, and make sure you follow me on Instagram. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story time. Like, do y'all think I was wrong for not like giving him another chance? And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.